mí, a los que estamos, o sea, a los 40, ¿sabes lo que estoy hablando? Pac-Man, todo eso, Mortal Kombat, Donkey Kong,
Mario
you know, we used to go and we used to be social, with people. And now with so much social media and all that stuff and such a many platforms that you guys could be in touch and connect, I was looking at it and I was like, even though we could be connected via, any of those social media platforms, it seems like we don't want to connect physically with people. What triggered, if we might know, that you didn't want to be around people? Was it that they were going to tell you, what are you doing with your life? Oh my God, get up. Or just in general, you just really enjoy just being by yourself?
Pretty much. I just isolated myself from everyone just because I didn't really want to talk to anybody. Mainly because of things that I was going through, and I didn't really want to share anything with people.
So you didn't want to answer questions?
Exactly.
Of the stuff that you were going through. Can you name the one that you were going through in that, when you were going through this, if you don't mind?
That's exactly why he isolates.
Yeah.
I want to talk about it.
Ahora que está fuera del cuarto lo acojo.
Well, I'm gonna be completely honest. Pornography.
Okay.
And that was something that, and to be honest, it's still relevant today.
Yeah, you're a boy.
Yeah. But that was always thing that I struggled with, and yeah, I just didn't want to be around people because I was ashamed of what I've done.
Thank you, man. Hey, can we give it? It takes courage, and it takes, a lot of, you gotta be brave to expose yourself that way. And go ahead, you wanted to say something?
No, I was gonna say that, it does take a lot of courage to say something like that because, there's some people that as soon as he made that comment, they went, but it's like, it may not be your pornography, but it could be something else.
Right.
Like, there is not one moment where we haven't, failed in one way or another. So, he just voices, but yeah, like, we all struggle, with things on a daily basis. And, just knowing that we can still come to the Lord and He can give us that strength to overcome those temptations or overcome those thoughts that we have. Yeah, those struggles that we have is amazing. And, He's there carrying. I really like the message that you gave about, there's only a certain amount of, burden that we're meant to carry. So it's like, no matter what it may be, at one point we have to come to the feet of God and be like, I place this in your hands. I can no longer do this myself, but I know that you have the power to. I know you have the strength to. So just take everything I am in your hands.
So we have two situations here. You got one that it was because of your appearance, the way you look. It was not, they make fun of the way you look. So it's kind of like your self-esteem, and then you got another one with Yeshua that it just, anything that is drawing you to put your attention on something else. Has anybody else been through a low self-esteem or?
But she also wanted to say
I
something
just
before.
kind of want to add on.
Oh, okay, go ahead, no.
Did you
No,
say
but,
that?
go ahead.
I really am proud of you, Yeshua.
Oh my God,
this
yes.
goes to Yeshua because it just to hear you say that is something we hold back from because we feel it will ruin what others see of us. And through your transparency, you broke barriers, and to see that you, I'm not gonna get emotional, to see that you get up all the time, every Sunday, you're the first one to stand up at that altar call, or just to pray, or just talking about how you're so shy and you don't like to talk, but you're like one of the ones that when you speak, it's just, there's just a peace, there's just truth in what you say. To see that and hear what you just said blows my mind because you're so much stronger than what you think. And that's amazing because that's the God in you, and I love that.
And I don't care that I didn't get a number. I'm gonna say it something. You know, I agree with Christy that there's something about confession. You know, we know that God forgive us, but there's something about confession to one another that brings freedom.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes
Uh-oh. Toss it.
Toss it down, toss it down.
Sit down. There you go.
and sometimes to confess something so personal
Yeah.
to the public, it is definitely something embarrassing because we should know what's right from wrong, right? And we are expected as Christians to make the right choice every single time. And we should really aim to make the right choice, because when we make the wrong choice, we just bring burdens to ourselves, and we bring delays to our purpose, and we bring more fear into our lives just because we know what's right from wrong. And there's a verse that actually spoke to me too about, you know, confession and being transparent in a difficult place. And it's in Colossians 3, and that it says, do not lie one to another and dispose of the old man. So, you know, we have to be transparent. It may take some time because it's not easy to just come out and say, I mean, anybody would probably make a fake, because if I look at Joshua, a quiet kid who brings an amazing word, yes, I'll be like, you know, it is a shocker. You know, we have this expectation that we have it right, and we teach and we do these things, and you know, it hurts to anyone because we want to see the good in everything, you know. But even in our faults, even in our things that we go through, to show the courage to expose yourself, it just brings a different level of relief. Who cares what people think? You know, at this moment, I believe that your burden's gotten lighter. You might have already confessed to God, but I believe that just today you have gotten better, and not to go back to that old man, because now we have something to show for. You know, now we expose it. Now we you know, we have to, you know, do better and do.
Well, now people know what to pray for.
And we also, you know, we can, you know, be your guards and help you, and not to judge you, but to help you achieve a better level in order for you to leave that stuff behind at some point. So yeah, it takes a lot of
Cool. Check it out,
courage.
real quick. Lewis, while Janai talks, look for me Titus, chapter 2. Tito, chapter 2, verse 4. Have it ready. Go ahead.
So, like, what you were asking before, about self-esteem issues, I have always had self-esteem
Pero tú
issues.
hablaste español, estimado.
Bueno, siempre he tenido dificultades con mi autoestima. Y not English today. And I've had always, because, like, of course, like, no, when I was younger, I was obviously skinnier than I am now. But and some people would make fun of me about that, going like toothpick or skin and bones, like skeleton, stuff like that. And that would always like take a toll on me, because like I felt like there was no value, you know, because obviously bones are just bones. So I didn't feel like I had any value. Yeah, but I didn't have any like, I didn't see any value to myself. And like now, like you know, forever who hangs out with me or knows me, like whenever someone compliments me, I'm like, oh yeah, I know, like, you know, and I like portray as if I'm like, you know, very confident in who I am. But like there's days, or mainly days, where I look at myself in the mirror and I'm just like, I don't like what I see, because if I see a bone, I'm like, I don't want that, because then people are gonna be like, oh my god, you're so skinny, like I wish I was like you. But like, you know, you could wish to have my body, you could wish to like look like my figure, but like the struggle it is that I always have to find like clothing that fit me, and like it makes me feel so bad because I have to go to multiple stores to look for at least a good pair of jeans to go for. So it's very hard as well. But then like
Dile que todavía pasa por Trader Place.
no, no, I don't know that. But it's just very hard because like you can portray yourself to have the confidence and to have the like to love the way you look and to love your body. But I know that there's a lot of people now like watching or that may be going through this that they when people give them compliments they're like thank you very confidently, but like when they go home they don't see themselves the way they should be seeing themselves or have the value that they should have the value in themselves. But
To those people, what would you say right now? Look at the camera. To those people, what would you tell? Because you've been through it.
Yeah.
You conquered it. So
So
your
going-
faith helped you through it.
yeah.
So what would you tell those people?
Well, I didn't really have the strength to love myself on my own. So I would always wait for camp. I don't know why, but I always waited for camp to like talk to God mainly. But when the last camp that we went to happened, that was the like moment where I realized that I have to love myself, and it wasn't because of I wanted to love myself. It was because I knew that I had a good God that loved me, and He was the one that actually gave me the confidence and the idea to love myself the way I should be loving myself. So I just say like listen to what God has to say because He's God. But just listen to what He has to say about you because He created you perfectly in His image. So if people want to talk about the way you look, just remember that you were created by someone who has all power and has all love.
Lewis, you got that?
Verse 4?
Yeah, we're gonna go all the way down to verse 8. But read it loud, man.
But you said chapter 2, right?
Chapter 2, verse 4 to 8.
Okay. That they may teach the young women to love their husbands, to love their children, and to be self-controlled, pure homemakers, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of God may not be dishonored. Likewise, exhort young men to be self-controlled in all things, presenting yourself as an example of good works and doctrine, showing integrity, gravity, incorruptibility. You want me to read 8 or? Oh, okay. And sound speech that cannot be condemned, so that the one who opposes you may be ashamed, having nothing evil to say of you.
Y ese es Tito capítulo 2, lo voy a leer en español. Mira lo que dice, que enseña a las mujeres jóvenes a amar a sus maridos y a sus hijos, a ser prudentes, castas, cuidadosas de su casa, buenas, sujetas a sus maridos, para que la palabra de Dios no sea blasfemada. Exhorta a sí mismo a los jóvenes a que sean prudentes, presentándote tú en todo como ejemplo de buenas obras, en la enseñanza mostrando integridad, seriedad, palabra sana e irreprochable, de modo que el adversario se avergüence y no tenga nada malo que decir de vosotros. I like that because right now all you guys, Yeshua and all you guys have opened up and pretty much opened up and said, this is what I struggle with. But at the same time, one thing is to struggle with it. That means you're fighting. That means you're not giving up. And another thing is to actually say, I'm getting beat up. But you guys are not getting beat up. You guys maybe at one point were getting beat up, but now you guys are actually wrestling with it. And you guys are actually conquering. You guys are victorious in this. And what would you tell a young man or girl that is going through the stuff that you've been through? How can you help them right now? How can you exalt? What do you do that actually got you where you are right now?
To always look forward, and even though you may not see progress, even though you may not see, freedom, because there were many times, where, here in church, where, say, pasado el leña,
Yes.
there were times where I didn't say it, because sometimes I was like, am I really free? Because I'm still doing this and that. I got it. So yeah, am I really free? Because I just can't stop. there's this part of me that wants to go after God, but then there's this part of me that always wants to go back. And I just say, always look forward and always trust in God. That you wholeheartedly trust Him. Not that you trust Him one day and the next day not. All the time, every single day. And you keep going and you do it. Because the beautiful thing that I love, that one of my favorite preachers was talking about, is that failure is not failure is when you stay down. It's not when you stay down and get up again. So even if you feel like a failure, and even if you feel that God cannot forgive you, know that He always will, and that He loves you no matter what you've done. Because it's that greater mercy, that greater love that He has for each and every one of us, that transcends above all else. That it doesn't matter what we've done, what we're doing right now, or what may happen tomorrow. He is always with us, and He is always fighting for us. So yeah, just don't give up.
There you go. Well, check this out. The verse says, young men likewise exhort. How can we? And the Apostle Paul is writing this letter. And he's saying, you know what? Instruye, motiva. Whenever this generation, why are you crying?
I'm not crying.
Okay.
I feel like he is.
He was.
Yeah.
Oh,
But-
shut up. You got me.
Now that we believe in the Word of God, I hope you guys believe in the Word of God, because sometimes we could come to church, hemos llegado a un lugar, escúchame bien, como dijo mi hija, que en el campamento, está esperando el campamento ahora. Does God only show up at a camp?
No.
So if we know that God can show up anywhere at this moment, why do we wait for moments like those?
I would wait for those because I was like, I didn't want you guys to see me worshiping for some reason. I don't know why. I just didn't want my parents or like.
I feel like that was everybody else.
Yeah, I didn't want my parents.
For sure.
Everybody.
I didn't want my parents or any adult to see me worshiping for some reason because I guess I had the mindset of like that they would always think of it as fake because we're too young to be worshiping like that. Like how you used to say like only a person that's gone through something and like one out of it can sing and worship like that. Like when Stephanie Gret Singer sings like when she does her beautiful belts and like her notes and she just like goes totally spontaneous. When people say you gotta be going through something and have past that to be worshiping like that. So it's like, well, I'm 11, 12, 13, 14. What have I gone through to be worshiping like this? So when camp came along, it was more like there's people that knew not that new. There's people that I knew that were my age as well that, if I saw them worship, I'd be like, okay, I can worship like that because, so it was
It's more
just,
comfortable.
It's more
could it be that, and this happens to all of us, not with you, but can it be that in an atmosphere, in a platform like that they're all youth, I could worship because then I'm not going to be held accountable because now, and this happens to all of us, and to everybody. I remember for the company that I worked for, and I give you this little testimony real quick. I was not a safe employee. I fought, I did many things, and when they called me to be the safety patrol of my department, I was like, me? I'm the most unsafe person in the whole department. They're like, yeah, but you're a leader, they're gonna follow. And I was like, but I'm the worst. They're gonna
be fighting people.
But then another thing that I didn't want to speak of safety because then I was gonna be held accountable for my words. Now, is it that platform where you say, you know what? I don't want my parents, I don't want my mom, I don't want them to see me entregado en adoración, because then when I do fall,
Yeah.
or I do fail, then they might point that moment in my face.
Absolutely.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would think
Yeah.
that's exactly why, but I don't think I should be held accountable, and this is just me thinking out loud, and that this is the youth thing, but for worshiping, I should be held accountable for my action, not
There you
for
go.
worshiping.
Yeah.
So, if a parent makes the huge mistake of seeing their child worship freely, and then come back home and at their first fault say, weren't you worshiping the other day? That is just something that really turns you down
It beats you up.
instead of encourage you. So
You said something.
I can definitely understand why would a kid not want to worship if when they get home, they, instead of correcting them for what they did, they have to tie it up to the good thing that they did,
Well, the one thing
and
that
it
makes
makes
you feel
them feel like, why do I even do it for? I just think that is a wrong approach, and that is my own personal opinion. That's all I gotta say.
And I think that
And you
happens
said
for all ages, like
anybody.
in marriages and siblings and parents. Like, I feel like everyone goes through that too. Where
Now,
it's just
let
like,
me ask you something. How can we then help each other out if we are so against being held accountable? Because and I hear you, and I hear the pastora, but in some occasions, we gotta, even the Bible, we cannot be more loving than God. God is all love, God is all merciful, and we get that. But also God has empowered us to change. How can we exhort, right? And we use the Bible as a guidance. But we have become a generation, I say this, that we want to exhort, but we don't want to correct. That exhort is, I want to motivate you, but I don't want to correct you, because then I bust your bubble, Now, a friend could say it, but like a parent in our blood, we're like, no, I guarantee you that maybe if a friend tells you that, let's say you went to camp, and let's say you went with Ariana, and Ariana saw you on fire, she saw you doing all that stuff, and then when you guys leave that place in that moment, she sees you doing things on the phone, like acting dumb on a smartphone, let's put it that way. And then she goes, listen, what are you doing? Didn't you just have a moment with God? We tend to take those moments and say, well, thank you. But when a parent does it, why do you think when a parent does it, it hurts more?
Well, that's what can I say?
Come on, of
Okay,
course.
so that's not like, yeah, that happens sometimes, but like Annie, what's her name?
Honey.
Annie, yeah.
Oh my God.
like she said, like what I've heard like from her is that like she's had like a better connection with her mom, and she's a parent. So like,
Who's a parent?
The mom.
the mom.
Oh, okay.
Patricia.
Honey is not.
Oh, really? Yeah, very good. I don't know.
Well, I'm sure, like, whenever she said something to her, she would be like, yeah, because, like, what she said, she didn't really trust our thing. And for me, I take it both ways. Like, if I hear it from my mom or if I hear it from, like, anyone, really. Yeah, I do get an attitude and I do get mad, but that's just for both. I'm not like trying to say that I only listen to my friends, because of course I listen to other people, and I just feel like, well, that can't be.
And I'm with you. I think, yeah. Is it because you think that what they saying is to hurt you and not to better you?
No.
That you get mad?
No, because I know they're right, and I hate.
But you just don't understand.
They be wrong.
You just know they're right, and you're like, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
Leave it alone.
So now, what can we do as a group at the church as a family to then say, you know what, I gotta be accountable for what I gotta do. And I just don't like to be corrected. And that's all of us. You know, now, isn't it because maybe we don't want to connect? And I tell you this, one of my burdens, una de mis cargas más grandes es que en la iglesia, una vez el joven llega a los 20 años, de los 20 a los 30 hay un espacio que muchos de ellos pierden su camino, pierden su fe, porque en ese momento ya están bastante grandes, que ya están fuera de la casa muchas veces. No quieren escuchar a mami ni a papi, no quieren escuchar ni aún a los amigos porque ya se sienten una propia persona. Y tenemos que tener cuidado porque si la palabra de Dios nos está diciendo que tenemos que exhortarnos los unos a otros, the word of God says that we have to exhort one another in the good things and in the bad things. But one thing that we got to come to faith is, and faith is believing. You know, I believe that when Lord tells me something, let's say a criticism, she's going to criticize something of me, you're not trying to hurt me. You're not trying to hurt my feelings. You're trying to let me know something that I'm not seeing, but you seeing. And then when we come with that attitude, we change that, then we might get upset because no one. La misma Biblia dice que a nadie le gusta que lo reprendan. No one. But when we know we got the spirit of the Holy Spirit, and we say, you know what? They're not doing it to harm me. They're doing it to better myself. You know, and Yeshua, and I want, like I said, all of you guys, and we're almost done. You know, it's 9 o'clock, and we're gonna have to need part 3.
Yeah.
It goes by so fast.
But I wanna encourage you guys because you're not the only one that's going through that. You know, there's men 40, 50, 60 years old that are still struggling with it because they were never able to build up so much courage like you did and confront it and be open. Now, one of the things, and I tell you, I had a bad temper. No one could have told me that. I did have a bad temper. I didn't think twice. That's it. It was done. But I thank God for the friends that He put next to me, and I thank God for the father and the mother. That even though they were telling me stuff that I didn't like, it's not unto the point that you believe and you say, you know what? It's time to get real and be held accountable with what I gotta give to God. Because you know what? Some of the stuff we can't get on. We cannot, you know, fight it on our own. You know, right there when it says, you know, palabra sana e irreprochable, de modo que el adversario se avergüence y no tenga nada malo que decir. You know, the way we're going to get to it, and the Bible is telling me this, that the way I get to it is getting people to hold me accountable for what I just expressed. When you see me, let's say if I have and I don't, no lo tengo, pero si yo tengo un problema de que soy un coqueto y me paso coqueteando con las mujeres, ¿verdad? Pues, que de momento cuando yo esté predicando y me digan, Hacho, pero mira, acabo de predicar y está coqueteando, Hacho, pues no predico más nada, ¿ya? No predico más nada. That's not the right attitude. Now, but if I do, I say, you know what? A lo mejor es que yo soy un coqueto, ¿verdad? I guarantee you that the Bible says, get people that can help you, that love you, and watch me. You know, to that way they're gonna be. You know, I remember, well, some of you guys gone bowling with me, and some of you guys had issues throwing the ball straight. Y tuvimos que sacarlo.
The bump
Kitty
the
little.
numbers.
And we
Yeah.
didn't want them.
And in life, we need those. And the first ones is our parents. Those are the ones that are gonna, cuando vemos que la bola se va a ir por la cuneta, le decimos, no, don't go that way. But we gotta trust and believe that they're helping us. That even though we might not believe it, we might not see it, we are loved by them, we are loved by the church, we are loved by each other. And I wanna tell you something, guys, and this is my thing. When I see people that have bad attitudes or bad temper, I'm not gonna lie, it's very easy to judge. But never forget what God had taken you out. Because that's gonna be the platform, that's gonna be the introduction that says, I got what you need. I was there. Can you let me exhort you? You know, I wanna thank all of you guys. Right? And you have something to say. We're gonna close with you.
Okay.
Right?
Um,
And she's like, I
you
didn't want
said, when you, I don't know, I forgot one of them. You
you asked like Jaden, you said,
How can we help you?
no, when he said that, why don't you like when like adult or someone tells you, well, first you said why is it different when an adult versus like someone my age?
Exacto, como una
So
yeah, I got
for me, it's because like my mom, like that's my mom, you know. Like I've known her, like she raised me, like came out of her. Then like, but my friends, like those are people that come and go, you know. So it's different in them telling me something because I don't even know if they're gonna be with me my whole life. With my mom, like I just hate disappointing her, and like very much so. So whenever like she like corrects me or something, I kind of think to myself like I should have already known that, you know. And like I just hate disappointing her, and then that's why I don't like.
So I like this because one thing that we got is,
It's harder to disappoint a parent rather than like one of my friends.
so now, our parents, and we're parents now, I know my daughters are gonna disappoint me in one way or another, because that's what it is. And there's people watching saying, oh my God, you know, it's never gonna end. It's never gonna, but life is not about proving yourself. That's not what life is all about. We're here, and the Bible tells me that we're here just for one thing, and it is to glorify God and to let Him be known by our works that we do. So in other words, what we do for Him, let other people see, and by the love. When we come and we're so afraid of failure, and we don't want to express why I'm failing, you know, the enemy keeps us there. You know, I know some of you guys have some victory, and I know you guys are doing some struggles. But I want this that tonight, y la gente que nos está viendo ahí, I want you guys to pray for this generation, for all of us. Because maybe your son is not up here. A lo mejor tu hijo o tu hija no está aquí. Pero a lo mejor tu hijo está luchando con algo que tú no te imaginas. Estos jóvenes hoy día se encierran en los cuartos y son como osos, invernan. Allá está vivo, tiene que ir a menearlo. Pero les queremos dejar saber algo. Cojan estos jóvenes de ejemplo. Jóvenes que aún están en la fe y están diciendo, aunque estoy pasando por problemas, como quiera sigo hacia adelante. No me voy a rendir, porque aquel que me llamó dijo que claramente, persuadido estoy del que el que empezó la buena obra en mí, él la habrá de perfeccionar. Pero para que la obra sea perfeccionada, tenemos que coger la disciplina, tenemos que coger la corrección y tenemos que hablar de esto. Como padres tenemos que aprender a corregir, tenemos que aprender cómo disciplinar y tenemos que aprender cómo escuchar. Como jóvenes tenemos que aprender a también decir, tú sabes que, aunque yo creo que ellos they don't know what they're talking about, I think your parents got a little bit more of a leeway in us that could help us out.